Hello everyone, and welcome to my little sketchbook tour. Now the reason why I'm doing this little sketchbook tour is because recently I found out that a lot of my old sketchbooks, basically anything from about a year ago and before, have all basically gone missing. I've lost them somehow in all the moving I've had to do in the past few years, and that made me kind of sad. So here I am, wanting to do a bit of more of a personal record, but I also wanted to share it with people if they were curious. So I also apologize, this is not a professional setup at all. I'm literally filming this on my iPad and iPhone, so things might be a little rough, but here we go. Now the goals for this sketchbook, basically, I started this one in May and only just recently finished it in September. And the goal I set for myself really was just to draw in colour pencils, which I had basically never done really before. It had all been in grey lead and charcoal. And I've only started to get into all these colour pencils recently this year, and it's been a lot of fun. So I guess we'll get started. And feel free to either put me on mute and go double speed, or you can enjoy my rambling. So here on the first page, this was very much I need to fill the first page, but I wanted to give myself a little reminder that this sketchbook is not supposed to be stressful. It's just a peaceful place for me to come and sketch whatever I want. So, yeah. Wanted to test out a few of the colour combinations that I had at the time. I had very limited amount, not nearly the amount of colours that you see sitting around. Wanted to give these a little look through. Of course, Vash makes an appearance. He was very much a brainworm during this time, and I very much enjoyed drawing him here. This was a fun little Pinterest drawing, which I did enjoy. I think I got the colours quite nicely in that one, and that was a lot of fun. Now, this was a drawing I did of my sister, and there's actually a funny story around this one. Where while I was drawing it, one of my sister's housemates, who I was also living with at the time, walked up, saw me drawing and said, "Oh, that's cool. That reminds me of this film festival I went to go see the other day in this so-and-so place." And I'm like, wait a second, where did you see this film festival? And turns out that 2 days before, my housemate, completely unknowingly, had gone to see the film that I had worked on 2 days before without me knowing, and she only recalled that by looking at me drawing at that time, and I thought that was really cool and a very weird coincidence. Yeah, that was very fun. Fun day out. Yes, a lot of these pages might be a bit rough. This was one of them. And then this is life drawing, so if you're bit sensitive to the human form, maybe skip away. But these were from a class in Melbourne. Lovely class with some lovely people. Yeah, and I think I've only really gotten into life drawing. I've been doing life drawing for a while, but I've only really started getting into it this year because I've had some friends who are very passionate about it, and I have grown to really enjoy it as well. And I think there's a lot to learn. And I think I definitely got to explore a lot with colours and such while I was doing life drawing this year, which was a lot of good fun. And this one, it was 2 20-minute poses. And it was a 40-minute pose, 20 minutes each with a break, and I didn't want to continue drawing, so I did the same pose twice from a slightly different angle with different colours. Very creative. Just make sure that's still in frame there. This was one of those brain days where it's just I don't know what to draw, so I'm going to draw some swirly whirly colours and see how that goes. Yeah, and I decided to draw the very literal brain on fire day because it certainly was one of those days. But I think, as the day went on, I got to draw some nice stuff. Yeah, and definitely loving the colours more and more throughout this. Yeah. And then it's time to go to bed. That was my, I need to cuddle up and just rest, I think. This was a fun drawing. I kind of had a little scenario in my head, very dramatic kind of royal scene, and just with the crown and lovely dresses and stuff like that. And I just, yeah, good fun. I think I have begun to enjoy drawing like clothes and royalty a bit more. There's just something very dramatic about it. This was another life drawing class that I really enjoyed. This model, she was so funny, very energetic. She did some great poses, like this one here. Shame that one's at yellow. It's a bit doesn't come out very well in the light. But yeah, this was a great session. Really enjoyed these colours here. Nice bright, kind of like pink and yellow. And I, yeah, definitely started to use it a bit more as I started to draw a bit more. Yeah, and those were the 40-minute pose. I was quite proud of that one actually. I thought that one was pretty good. Another half-hearted sketch, which I didn't really finish in the end, but yeah, definitely more into clothing and such like that. And then where I was, it was beginning to tend to autumn, and there were these trees where it's like only the end bits were going like bright red and the rest of it was green. I don't think I quite captured it there. At this point I was really kind of struggling with colour pencils, and I think I wrote, yeah, I even wrote here, I was like, colour pencils are hard to draw with a little sad face, because they are. But, you know, I kept on with it because I still really liked it. It was much better than grey lead. And then one of my friends lent me a really cool, kind of like, I think it was this one, fun little colour pencil that changed colours. And I was like, that's awesome. Also, they're all my favourite colours. So I did a few poses in that. And I only got up to this one because I thought, as I was getting to the longer ones, I should probably focus in on the colours more. But I feel like I could have done it. I should have gone for the colours more, but it's fine. I still really liked this session. I think I got some pretty nice poses there. I think I tried to focus in on her face a bit more on this one, face and hands, and I just wasn't quite getting it, but it's still really good. Yeah, try to focus in more on her face there. And then this is when I started travelling a bit more. Unfortunately, I really didn't do a lot of sketching, which I really thought I would. But I think the only ones I did get was this when I was at the airport in Hawaii, and I saw Hawaii Airlines, and like all the waitresses were like dressed up and had flowers in their hair, and I was just like, oh my gosh, it's so different. But that was a great trip. And then this was my first life drawing class I did when I arrived in London, and I found this great little place. That was a lot of fun. Yeah. Yeah, so I decided to bring the life drawing with me where I went, because I thought it was a really great way to keep sharp, and it's just a lot of fun. This model was great. She had this tattoo of these two mice dancing together, and I tried to capture that in that one. Didn't get too much time though. And then after a while I did drop off from drawing a little bit, so I decided to go to the park that was near me, and I just drew a whole lot of little ducks and stuff, but I wasn't quite confident enough to draw them properly, so just a few little ducks. And then here I just started, at this point I wanted to do a more imaginative drawing, kind of get back into the flow of things. So Of course, that involves drawing hands, some colourful hands, and then I went to visit the British Museum as well, and if you've been to the British Museum, you'll recognise this rather controversial statue that probably shouldn't be in the British Museum anymore, but they were pretty stunning to see in person. And yeah, I always enjoy drawing some birds because they're nice and flowy. Some portraits. Yeah, and I saw some really, I arrived just kind of like at the height of summer, so I was seeing a lot of very pretty flowers around. I'll just draw some of those. This was another life drawing session with another crazy coincidence story, actually, but I won't get into that one. But he was a great model. Actually got some pretty good drawings in this one. This one I liked. Yeah. These ones I was actually pretty proud of. I think this was a nice balance of all the colours that I'd kind of been bringing together, and just a nice mix of kind of actually getting into that flow, I think. And yeah, that was a great session. I'm really quite proud of those ones. And I think it looks quite pretty as a spread, actually, unlike the rest of this sketchbook. And that was the last one there. Oh yes, that was a bad sketch day. And then another life drawing session. Yes, this session had weird times. It was like 5 minute, and then it went to like a 40 minute. This was a 25 minute. I was a bit intimidated by that, and I think the colours didn't go great, but that was fine. And then, yeah, I got a bit thrown off my groove there, but that's fine, because we're not being too judgmental. But yeah, these were cool. And then I went for a nice walk around London for a day, and I was just like, okay, I've actually got to sketch a little bit. And I was walking through like all these little alleyways in the centre of London, lots of dragons, which I did enjoy, and some lovely painted ceilings and columns. Very fun city to explore. Some more kind of sketchy stuff. Drew this one on the train, which was fun. I do enjoy drawing birds. They're just so pretty. Some flowers. And this was a nice spread that I enjoyed. I've been to the English countryside for a little bit, and all the harvest was coming in, so it was a lot of green fields and gold fields with lots of haystacks in them. This was actually from a photo that I took, and I just thought I needed to sketch it down. And not that I saw this moth, but I saw this moth online and I thought it was pretty cool, so I decided to draw it. And then I started getting really interested in doing kind of like landscape-ish pieces with pencil, and I think, yeah, I was really enjoying mixing all the colours and doing that for these ones. And then I wanted to get back into doing a little portrait. I found this picture on Pinterest, and that was a lot of fun to draw and to kind of plan out. And then this was my one teeny tiny contribution to Smorgasbord. As someone who really loves dragons, I'm always ashamed because I never actually post anything for the month where you're supposed to draw dragons, but I did do this one drawing at least, but just still haven't posted it. But here we go, it's online somehow. And then, yes, another little landscape piece. And then, yes, more birds. and I wanted to get a bit more kind of abstract with the colours, because I find crows are very interesting because they have that they're black but they have the iridescent on them, and then in certain lights it can look like bright blue or bright orange, and that's just a lot of fun. Yeah, this one I don't think came out too well. It came out a bit of a mess, but they're just so nice and flowy. Yeah, just another little sketchy sketch. Another picture I found online. This was the point where I was just like, I definitely need more colour pencils because I did not have the right colour combination. I don't think I got the background quite right, but it was a cute dog, which I saw in the park, and I was like, that is adorable. And some more like portrait sketches there. And this life drawing session. This guy was the most muscly guy I have ever drawn in my life, and I was so intimidated, but he was an excellent model, and I got really caught between, I was just like, okay, do I draw line or do I draw by light? And I was getting kind of caught in the middle, and I wasn't quite getting it, but I think I somewhat got it in this one. But no, he was a great model. He did some fantastic poses. Yeah. Yeah. And then, of course, after that, more dragons, and at this point I knew I was going to be finishing up the sketchbook soon, so I don't think I used it for any more life drawing. Yes, I think I was missing my paints at this point, and I wanted to do a still life, and I still didn't have like the pencil colours for it, and so yeah, you can see my yikes in the corner there. But yeah, and then more little bits and pieces. I like this one. This was a drawing of a photo that I took while I was sitting in the park one day. It's just a nice little memory. And then more kind of portrait sketches. I think I'll probably do more of this kind of stuff because I really am enjoying doing more portrait stuff. Except that one. That one's bad. Yeah, and then don't know what I was doing here. This was kind of a late night one, but it felt very peaceful. Yeah, another bird. And then yeah, this was the last page, and I was like, okay, if it's the last page, I guess I'll do a little revamp of what I did on the first page, and I think I'm a bit happier with that one there. Just a nice little sleepy gal, which is what I am on most days. So yeah, thank you for joining me on my little sketchbook tour. I hope you enjoyed it, and that's about it. Thank you.